Hi, this is Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander Worf from Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, and you're listening to Trek FM.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot.
Welcome to another episode of Earl Grey, recording together from Star Trek Las Vegas. I'm sitting at the conference table, room 17001, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Daniel Prue.
Hello.
Philip Gilfus.
Hey, I'm in the same room.
And from To the Journey...
To the Journey!
Charlotte Schmidt.
Yo!
And Tristan Riddell.
I'm here as well.
So there's 5 of us here at this table.
As well as a live studio audience.
So today, one, because it's just awesome to record in the same room with no lag, and we can see each other. You guys saw when I gestured to you, so you knew when it came in.
I know, what?
What is that about?
Can you
This
still put
is
Daniel
weird.
on mute, though?
But
No,
well,
I don't think...
Daniel.
Oh god, he just froze. He just froze.
Oh my god.
Give it a second. Give it a second.
Gotta wait, he's gotta reconnect.
We're gonna restart Daniel's room, and no. But yes, we're here together live. Well, not live. Live to tape in Star Trek Las Vegas, and of course we have to take this opportunity. So we are going to be taking a concept from Earl Grey 148, Square Root of Spock, and in that episode, we were taking a TNG episode, like Elementary Dear Data, and we were placing it in the USS Voyager. So the idea I had come up with was, what if instead of Professor Moriarty gaining sentience and the Enterprise crew having to react to that and deal with it, what if something caused the Captain Proton program to gain sentience and the crew of the USS Voyager? So we're going to just outline like a 4-act kind of how the story might go, and we're not writing a ton of dialogue, but I felt that between the 5 of us we could come up with a good story. So the beginning is Tom and Harry are playing, and Tom doesn't have a lot of time anymore because B'Elanna.
Women, am I right? Thanks.
So,
Keep talking.
B'Elanna's busy, and they got better things to do. All Deck 7 knows that they got better things. But so instead, Harry just says, "Oh well, I'll just activate the Captain Proton portion of this program." So a holographic Captain Proton appears, but of course Harry, just like Geordi, asks it in the wrong way.
Well, I feel like you don't want to blame Harry, because Harry always gets blamed. He's
the
Geordi.
whipping boy.
Yeah, make Tom mess it up.
Okay.
He's all responsible.
Okay, so Tom
Let's make him...
comes. Let's say Tom comes in, and he's
Harry,
got his Captain Proton on,
yeah.
and he's ready to go. And right then, like B'Elanna calls. It's like, "Hey Tom, can you come meet me for the thing?"
There you
go.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. There's a wink over the comm. It's very subtle.
Wait, are they sending emoji icons through the...
What's that? Go away. Typed out
Their
on the
code
pad.
word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or is it like the pad in the Doctor's fantasy?
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
Come here now. So then Tom says, well, because we'll make Tom his fault, because
Poor Harry, we gotta give him some slack.
Exactly.
It's true. On To the Journey, we try really, really hard whenever we create new episodes not to make Harry the one that screwed it up.
Yeah, because honestly, it's too easy.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Garrett downstairs, so, we don't want to make
Well,
mad at us.
technically we saw Robert Duncan McNeil.
Yeah, but
as well,
Garrett had an
so-
actual typed out sign with his name, whereas Robbie Duncan McNeil's sign was crudely drawn with a Sharpie, so...
Crayon.
It was
I feel
very
like we
last
need
minute, oh hey, yeah, I guess I'm here. Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, well, we'll make it Tom's fault. So he asks the computer and says, "Computer, create for me a program of Captain Proton, give him all of the abilities
That I have.
to
Oh,
to
no,
complete,
not that you have
to complete this program with my friend Harry Kim." And then he sees, so now we see 2 Toms appear, and it's still in black and white.
And then Harry's like, can't we make this one better looking?
Well, let's have to differentiate him. He could say something to the computer, and then the real Tom turns color because he's getting out of the
Ooh.
program.
No, that'd be sweet.
And so because that's the thing is the holographic one will always be black and white.
Yeah.
And so he steps away, And then maybe the end of the teaser before the titles is Harry's going like, "This is gonna be fun. What could possibly go wrong?"
This isn't creepy at all.
Yeah, and that nothing
Two
ever goes
Toms?
wrong.
Yeah. Well, see, I always imagined that when we were talking about this, that the Captain Proton would look like Tom, but it had this sort of stylized makeup. Where
Maybe he's always smiling like that Hollywood big smile.
because it has
It's a
to
little
look like
creepy.
all those other characters in the program who are kind of different from our people's. Has that sort of like heavy white makeup or heavy, whatever.
There's contours, nothing but
Yes.
contours on his
Exactly.
face.
Or his hair's like slicked back.
Or
like, in
yes,
a-
yeah.
in a-
It's
in
a
a-
little
Like
overdone.
the heavy shading of the eyes, like the old talkies had.
Like a little Errol Flynn kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always just thinking that it would actually be just somebody that looked a lot like Robert Duncan McNeil, like
You want to give his stunt double
that,
some
like right,
look?
somebody that was like attractive like him, but it wasn't quite him. That way, it would make sense for Tom to want to be that character because look, kind of look.
I just like want to give because he's never played a double, right? I mean, what acting other than being Tom Paris and the losing tongue stuff? When has he got to like sort of play different?
I believe those were the times.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see, what he can
He
throw
was
out there.
Nick Ricardo. I mean,
Well,
that
you're
is-
right.
There was that whole thing.
Those are
yes.
two very different characters.
Okay, exactly.
Because that way, we like in TNG Earl Grey, we've seen Brent do stuff. Patrick plays a holodeck character doing Shakespeare. We have two Rikers.
Dixon Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Well, Hellboy is Hellboy.
Yeah.
And that's all he needs.
So and now at what point going to the TTJ experts, what season, where are we in? I assume the back half.
Okay.
But where are we?
Well, yeah, it's got to be after
Season 5.
Yeah, after
Because that's when they start with
Is she
Chaotica.
pregnant?
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe that's could be the
Are you
monkey
thinking
wrench.
season 7? Like
That's very end.
yeah.
we're
Well,
season
we could do that because there's not a whole lot of Captain Proton toward the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Like
That
after
makes
Bride of
sense.
Chaotica, we definitely had a desert.
There was definitely a drop off.
So this will be the third part of the trilogy of
There we go.
Captain Proton.
Yeah, and B'Elanna's like, dude, I want ice cream.
Right.
And the replicator's broken. I'm trying.
That's
but
her
I could
code
use another
word. I
set. Not to stereotype pregnant women at all. I'm so sorry.
Well, because and I don't know, was there ever like a dialogue? And I'm trying to remember not when she got pregnant. That would be a different episode. But when she found out she was pregnant, was there ever like, hey Harry, it's not going to change between the two of us?
There was
think
a
there
moment.
was.
Yes, there was a moment where Harry acknowledges, you know what, our relationship, him and Tom, it is going to change. You have impending parenthood coming right up. You are now married, and I'm sort of feeling like the third wheel here.
The third nacelle.
And also,
Third nacelle.
and also there was a reference. This was before she got pregnant. There was when Tuvok and Paris were stranded on the planet with Ness. He. Oh no, I'm totally screwing up. No, I'm screwing up episodes here. No, it was one where Tuvok was going through Ponfar and he was going to have holographic sex with his wife.
Yes,
and
his holographic wife.
yes, his holographic wife.
So it's not cheating. Hashtag.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's what.
It's not cheating.
And that's Tom's rationale. He's like, it's not cheating if it's a holographic version of your wife.
What
But-
happens on the holodeck stays on the holodeck.
But the
Like
thing is,
Vegas.
is that
That's an
Paris-
eyebrow ways, like really.
But
Yeah.
but Tuvok was saying is that what you tell B'Elanna? And he said he's like, no, my Captain Proton days are long over.
Oh.
That's true.
So it infers that he did more than just save Captain Honey or whatever her name was. Honey does well. I don't know.
Okay,
Wait,
so
can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Because we talked about how we don't want to make Harry look pathetic.
I think Harry should be the hero of the episode.
Well, no,
and
but
fix it.
here's the problem.
Yes.
Buster.
If he isn't even going to be the hero of his own holodeck program, like Tom leaves and he's not allowed to be the hero, he has to still be the sidekick to a holodeck.
But he's already got the clothes.
I'm just saying, it's fine if we want to keep
That's
it.
true.
I think that's how
that
it
is a
gets-
little pathetic.
Well, yeah, no, I think that's how it can start out with the teaser. Tom's sort of like, I'm done, but you can still have fun. And then you get the new one in the teaser. But in the first act, you sort of have that first interaction. It probably doesn't work out. Something happens, and Harry realizes, like, well, this is kind of lame.
Yeah,
but
No, I like that because so we're in the first act. So Harry is starting, and the Captain Proton facsimile is all like, yes, sir, do-gooder. Like he's very over the top, and so, but like you said, Harry starts to feel like, okay, wait, this doesn't really work. Why don't I just be Captain Proton? And
He's
so
taking charge.
So he tells the computer to deactivate this version, and it doesn't. and that's where they start to realize something wrong because he can't deactivate that because he wants to assume the captain. He's like, oh, I'll be Captain Proton.
What if I think. Let's go with that, but let's put something a little bit in between.
Okay.
Where, what's his character's name?
Buster?
Buster,
yeah.
Buster Kincaid.
What if it's not, I want to be Captain Proton? What if he's like, no, Buster should be the hero.
Right.
Buster should save the day, and Captain Proton is the sidekick.
And
Captain Proton is...
won't let him.
Like, is just like,
there we go.
none of
There
that.
we go. That's perfect.
yeah,
that makes
Taking
sense.
charge. And,
I'm going to
and,
steer the ship. No, faithful sidekick.
Yes.
You sit over there. No, I'm going to steal the ship. No, faithful
And then
sidekick.
maybe he gets like a little crazy, like the third time he asks, he's like, I said no!
I love it. He just kind of loses it. Like, come on, just once.
Because it's interesting because we don't
Like
really
Bilbo at the, like...
Oh yeah, the space turn's a little colorful.
we don't really know Captain Proton because we know Tom Paris.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like we don't know what this is really based on, what that character is like, other than what
or
Tom
what the
thinks
character
it is.
should be doing, because
Yeah.
he's playing out the script.
And
Maybe Captain Proton's really a dick.
Yeah. And like Harry's never he's not familiar with it other than what Tom has shown him and told him.
Right.
And so like
It's obviously Tom's program. Harry didn't bring this on the Voyager.
Yeah, it's it's entirely what Tom brings to it.
I can almost see a scene, it might be too extra, where like Harry gets his frustration, then there's a scene of him like in his quarters with like 8 pads, of course, like reading like about Captain Proton.
Chapter
Like
12.
Yeah, this guy's terrible. This isn't anything like you did at all.
It's so funny. What if it plays off of the stereotypes of the time where like this guy's a misogynist? Like, I'm pretty sure he was a communist. No.
I'm not even going to talk about what he said about Koreans.
So he is starting to fight the program, and why don't we take this moment for him to leave?
Now I'm going to raise my hand. Is there a B story?
Ooh.
Now this was
There's always a question, right?
This was my thought, and we can throw it out. Is that when we were talking about this in the previous Earl Grey episode, that at some point there's going to be an encounter with aliens with Voyager, either a good encounter or a bad encounter. So that's a choice.
That's true.
But that Captain Proton is eventually going to be able to talk with them because he thinks he's encountering them. And he's going to have control of the ship.
Him encountering aliens would not be... It's different than Moriarty, who's like Victorian era.
Yeah, it would make sense for him. Like, he would know what an alien looks
It's like it's almost like Bride of Chaotica, except these are real. I mean, not well. I guess the other ones are real
Right.
too. Sorry, photonic life forms.
It's all real, Philip.
Yeah.
What if this? What if... Okay, he's still playing the game. He's kind of going along with it, but... okay, actually, I think he should have a pause. So he steps out, and we see the computer program still run. And so now we know things are starting to break down. And on the view screen of the Captain Proton rocket ship, we see through it that they're going to warp. So now, all of a sudden, it's tapped into the forward sensors of the USS Voyager, and he's starting to not exert his control over the ship yet, but be fed information. Because I love that how, yes, he's in a rocket ship flying through space. That's what the USS Voyager is doing.
That makes too much sense, right? And I love the idea of intertwining A plot with B plot. That always works for me.
Well,
Yeah.
for the B plot, though, do we want that to be... Usually it's the people outside the holodeck trying to rescue the people stuck within.
Because should it be like they're encountering? Is it,
Oh, it's an alien,
right? Is it going
Okay.
to be an existing alien we already know about? Because this is season 6 or 7.
Telaxian.
Or do we want it to be a new encounter?
Well, it could be
Or
the
positive
Malon.
and negative.
I might be jumping ahead here. It is okay if we kind of jump out of
we can
order
jump
a little
back
bit.
and forth, yeah.
I was thinking, what would be interesting? Like, maybe this would be interesting if, like, instead of making Captain Proton maniacal, where he takes over the ship, what if we continue exactly what you guys are saying, and where he's feeding information and like he tests his controls a little bit? What if they're meeting the aliens? And they're all good. They're shaking hands. They're exchanging, goods and services and everything like that. But Captain Proton secretly thinks that they're evil,
Right.
And they actually turn out to be evil. And Captain Proton actually saves.
This is like a Loxana Troy with the Antidi.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah. What if we
that's
did something
brilliant.
like that? What if we built
So the
something
B
like
plot is not them rescuing.
Good encounter.
It's Captain
First
Janeway.
contact.
She has a
Being a
mission log,
diplomat.
and she's like, "We're encountering the
Ambassador
alien."
Neelix.
Yeah, Ambassador
Ah.
so and so. I'm not sure which alien race we want it to be. The Alien of the week.
We'll make
Alien
it
of-
up.
yeah, Alien
yeah,
of the
the
week.
nose or the forehead of the week, whatever. It
The
doesn't matter.
Mimbarans.
All right, Babylon
What?
5.
Wait, is that in
The Minbari.
Minbari.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's an
Now,
actual race.
Minbarans are
How about the
different.
Centauri?
Yeah, I was gonna say Minbarans are not the Minbari.
Yes, attorneys.
Just like the Bajora. Are not
It's a
the
totally
Bajoran.
different
It's the
spelling.
Okay. So they have it planned. The USS Voyager is going to rendezvous with their ship.
Right, and I don't think we're saying that Captain Proton is maniacal, except maybe he's a little weird because of the programming, but that he's going to be super, super earnest.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's
Yeah.
all very black and white. It's all very black and white. But he can only see one of two ways, right? It's either
Yeah.
he's saving the day, or there's a bad guy, or there's a girl to rescue.
Yes.
But that makes sense. I mean, that is exactly what he does.
Now,
Yes.
and this is going ahead too. We can either take.
Well, it's good to see where it's going, and
Yeah.
then we'll back up to what happens in sequence. That's
And
fine.
remember, we have the imaginary whiteboard. We can erase at will.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have put up a whiteboard if you had wanted to.
I know that's okay.
that's
It's
the
there
window.
in our imaginations.
But yeah, I'm almost thinking, because we were talking on the early episode, this is me, and y'all may disagree. I didn't want anyone to reprise their roles. I didn't want there to be the president of Earth again. I didn't want
Right.
there to be Arachnia.
Yeah, I,
because we've done that.
purposely didn't want to rack.
Yeah,
So who hasn't been involved? And this is where I think is funny. B'Elanna.
Yes.
That because
Right.
the Captain Proton, remember, is based on Tom, and so
Yes.
it maybe somehow, and I don't want to victimize her, but maybe he sees her as the girl to rescue.
Who were we? No, we were thinking of.
Psychologically.
I can't
Right.
remember in the episode who were we thinking B'Elanna would be.
Oh, yeah, maybe she has to either assume the. I don't know how you do that, the secretary role, or which obviously doesn't sound very empowering. I know, but just
Nope, that's not
She has to do
working.
something.
She's got to be a different character.
Because I think Tom has to have a
but what kind of
conflict.
character would she be within the
Because I think the
Proton
line that we were thinking of that when B'Elanna's going into the program as whoever with Captain Proton, Tom's going to be like, "You're not going to kiss him, are you?" You know, like
universe. Right. Tom starts to get jealous.
And B'Elanna's like, "Look, he's you, right?"
What if-
Hashtag not cheating.
And then yeah.
What if B'Elanna was a princess from an alien
princess.
a space princess that he once fell in love with years ago, and has been constantly looking for ever since.
Because and this is sort of near the
Chapter
end.
12.
Right.
The
Search
foil
for the
came.
missing princess.
Yeah,
Because there may be some complication in the middle or in Act 2, and they're like, "Oh, how do we stop Captain Proton? How do we access him?" And then maybe either something Captain Proton does, like maybe because Lana's the engineer, she's going to try to fix it.
They could say, well, before we had to just interact with the program, and then we're referencing a Rat Bride of Chaotica, and they're like, but Arachnia can't. She's not in this chapter. Like he won't recognize you.
And like,
what's
is Janeway
going
gonna have
on?
like little thank God.
Like, well, what's happening? Yeah. Are they like looking around the conference table, and Janeway's like, oh, thank goodness. And he's like, well, what's chapter 12 about? Well, he's rescuing this lost space princess he's been looking for a long time. And then they all look at B'Elanna.
Eyes on B'Elanna.
She's like, you kidding me, right?
Like, yeah, like so for some reason, maybe 7 has to be made either unavailable or something. So
Yeah.
that way, because like the whole like scene with
or they
Ragnar with
pan
Buck-
around in 7 just like, no.
Yeah, or it says like actually
Or-
the princess is half alien, half human.
Oh, that would be
Or her
great.
Borg
So like it
implants don't work,
pans
or-
to 7, pauses for a second, but then continues
Yeah.
to B'Elanna, and she's like, really?
Really?
Oh.
And to me, it's almost
man.
funny and I don't know how she feels about Captain Proton at this point. You know, whether because like it's too stereotypical to be like, oh, I want that's interfering with our time together.
She obviously never wanted
because that's
to
very
play.
stereotypical. But I don't know, like, does she? Because I would think it'd be funny if she's like just as like gung ho about it. Yeah, and then Tom's the one who's has to reverse himself and
Yeah.
be like, no.
Well, the thing is though is that B'Elanna has never really she's never really liked holographic play.
Right.
Like she didn't like Fairhaven. Like she was the one who was outspoken against using Fairhaven. She hated the Doc's holographic family. So I don't.
She also hates Sandrines.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, so I don't know if she would be gung ho for it.
Because
But
you're a pig.
Like, what if it was more of? This might be too deep. Where she's like, "I thought you were done with this." Like that was like that's a sign of the old Tom, the immature Tom. Like you have more responsibilities coming up. I don't know.
I just don't want her to be like the wife with the frying pan.
Yeah,
You
I know.
Right.
I know. It's a fine line, but I feel like that's true to B'Elanna's character, though, to be sick of holographic distraction.
Here's the thing: is yes, she'll be sick of it, but she'll still be game to do it.
Right. She still has to do her
that's
job.
the thing. Is she's not going to be that old naggy wife. Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, she'll be like, oh, you're still doing that?
Yeah.
And then, okay,
Maybe
I'll
she's
do it.
reluctant, but once she sees that this is the only way to solve the because that's
She does it,
You
yeah.
know, because like maybe I don't know what the complication has to be of why she knows she has to do this.
Well, I still think eventually more and more buttons on his control panel start to actually control systems of the USS
Right.
Voyager, and that's a problem.
Sure, and especially from an engineering
Yeah,
standpoint.
because she's the one going to be checking it out.
Oh,
So that's why I would think like
Yeah.
maybe when she comes in, Captain Proton recognizes her,
So-
and that's why.
that now involves her directly.
Good.
Okay, I just was thinking of a character that we haven't talked about, and one that is one of my favorites in this storyline.
I don't know how we can fit Alexander in here.
Yeah, stop it. And then I just thought of a way maybe we could incorporate him. But we got to wonder what Satan's robot is doing this.
Hey!
And maybe Captain Proton is being earnest, but it's really Satan's robot that's trying to take over the ship.
Oh, the twist ending.
Is he revolting? Mm.
No, but we got to do something with him because he's
Yeah, we
Of
have to
course
have
we do.
Satan's robot.
Yes, you're right. Good point.
So
Captain Proton.
he's been reprogrammed for good, or we think.
Yeah.
Well, I think that in the bigger picture, like in the real world, so let's say they meet with the ambassadors and they're at the border of their space and they're going to escort them for 2 days into their capital planet. So for 2 days we got to hold it together on our ship that's slowly not coming under our control
I
as we
love it.
fly along the ship.
Deeper into their territory.
So we're seeing in Captain Proton's view the ship right there, and that's when you just go, okay, so basically a child with his hands on the phasers is flying next to this alien ambassador ship.
But his cameras can also see more. Maybe he can see them plotting.
He's got the periscope.
and so he tunes in his radio receiver, but it's maybe audio only, and he's now only hearing the conference room.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's totally taking it out of context. Like, what is this alliance of evil that's being formed on this planet?
You can go one of both ways. Either have dramatic irony where through him we know what's going on, or not have it where you're doing where it's straight, where we think, like, oh my gosh, he's going to ruin everything, but then he's right.
Oh, or are you saying that he's hearing the aliens actually plot?
We can go either way. I don't know.
I feel like either way it could
Yeah.
be.
Either way, it does work. Yeah.
So like you're gonna see on his view screen, it'll be the Voyager, and you'll see, oh, it's a nice, friendly-looking ship. And then you're gonna go into the program, and through that lens, you're gonna see this scary-looking evil ship, right?
And there's like a targeting radical on it.
like guns everywhere.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
see the people come on the view screen, and they'll be like lizard people with big sharp teeth or something.
Lizard
like that.
people?
Like,
Oh my.
Can you imagine Janeway's position where she's like, okay, we're gonna be in their territory for 2 days. Like, we can't tell them what's
Right.
going on because
Right.
they're like, sorry,
It's like Tom,
our
Alana,
helmsman.
Yeah.
deal with this.
Yeah, don't blow our cover.
This
that's-
has to be a light episode.
Right, so
even
that's a
though
nice
it's
Oh, yeah.
plot
Yeah.
where Janeway's out there trying to be like, hey, yeah, nothing behind the curtain.
Yeah, don't look over here.
Everything's totally fine.
Mr.
Welcome
Paris,
to the
you're deleting this
Voyager.
program at the end of this.
Yeah, yet another program. Please make it go away.
Okay, so we're kind of in the midpoint where so Captain Proton's still being the achiever. Captain Proton.
What systems are slowly going down? Because we're giving something for
So
B'Elanna.
first the view screen.
Well, we're giving something for B'Elanna and Tom. I'm just trying to think, what
Bullshit.
character have we not hit? Where who's first getting affected by systems going down?
You could have all external sensors. So 7
Yeah.
is kind of like what
She's
is
at the astrometrics lab.
Yeah, and because it's all being routed to his controls, which all has buttons and stuff.
Naomi's
she's-
playing Galaga in there.
Do we involve the doc where like maybe Captain Proton realizes that he can go to sickbay?
Or does the doc try to interject himself as the president of Earth? Like, I can talk him down. I'm the president of Earth.
No,
That's better.
You know what might happen? Captain Proton gets the doc's mobile emitter.
Oh.
Why would he
'cause
need
our-
that?
Because our doctor, well, either A, just like Moriarty, as he gained more sentience of the fact that there's a point where he realized he wasn't a hologram. Now, we may not decide to do that.
Because he'll be on the ship the whole time, Captain Proton.
Yeah.
I
At
feel
what
like
point does
Captain
he-
Proton shouldn't have self-awareness.
Okay.
I
I agree.
I feel like he should constantly be Captain Proton, but he's just realizing what story he's in.
Let's say the doctor goes in, but he keeps his mobile emitter so he's not integrated with the program because
And
that
Satan
never
Robots
works well.
grabs the doctor.
And Satan's robot grabs the doctor.
Oh my god.
And then Captain Proton takes, which always seems to happen, the mobile emitter off, and then he shimmers for a moment, and now the doc acts like the president of Earth.
He's actually the president of
and,
Earth.
and
yeah.
he's and
Helping
yeah.
him.
Yeah, which is the same that happened in the
What?
Fairhaven episode where they took it off and he was the priest.
That's right,
And then he
yeah.
reintegrated himself into the program.
Right.
But so then he would turn colorless as well.
Right.
The Doctor.
Well, he's colorless the whole time once he steps in.
Okay,
But
all right.
I'm saying he's
As a
not the
root.
Doc.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
He's now the president of Earth, and he's like, yes, Captain Proton, go forth and defeat these enemies for the glory of
Like,
Earth.
protect Earth, yeah.
I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
thinking that it would be funny, whether it was a Doctor or Captain Proton, but it doesn't sound like we're going that route. But if like the Doctor, like for some reason he knows things, so like he tries to infiltrate the rest of the Voyager systems with his mobile emitter after he's been taken over or whatever, but he's still colorless, so it's obvious to everybody that like you're the bad guy. What are you trying to do?
Okay, so instead of the Doctor staying in the holodeck, they say he doesn't take the immobile emitter, but he somehow gets corrupted, and so now he leaves. He stays colorless, and he's just wandering the ship.
and acting all weird, right?
I love it. That's, that's great.
But he's still the president of the United of Earth.
Right, right.
And he's like, okay, guys. So, and let's say in this chapter. Of
So how
Captain
do the
Proton-
born children enter into this?
Oh,
I
boy.
like that you're looking at me. Right?
But, yeah,
Answer,
but-
they don't.
So let's say that in this chapter, the president of Earth is being ferried. It's very similar to this current situation. He's being ferried to a neutral planet, and so he's just like, you know, where's your mess hall? I demand the finest. Like he wants to eat. He wants to do all the normal things. Where's my captain's quarters? What?
And maybe the president of Earth, because that's who he is now. Maybe he's the one who's going to be because you have to get these people in the same room. Maybe he's
Yeah.
encountering with the aliens now.
Oh gosh. Well, no.
Is that too much?
I feel like
let's say he's
we might
walking.
be using the dock too much.
Yeah.
I think we are. I think we're going
That's why I
too
thought the
far.
mobile emitter.
What if we keep him contained? We have 7 be responsible for keeping him out of trouble.
Oh, they're just trying to figure out what's wrong with him.
Right.
Oh, I see. What I was
Okay.
thinking is that once Satan's robot took off the mobile emitter, and the dock is just there. He has to stay on the holodeck because he
Okay.
can't leave. But then maybe Captain Proton,
Right.
he says like, "Oh, this is this is a piece of technology from the 5th dimension or something," and then slaps it on and leaves.
And he's wearing his rocket. He will rocket from Voyager to the alien ship.
His rocket pack.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So we can do either or. So do we want the Doctor roaming the ship as the president of Earth, or do we want Captain Proton leaving?
I
his
think I
rocket
got him
ship?
get him out of the ship.
I think we keep it Captain Proton. I like the rocket ship idea.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't make it to the alien ship because they beam him back and they're like, "Oh my god."
And the aliens are like, "Why did you just fire on us?" And he gets this little missile.
Okay, so the Doctor as the president of Earth is stuck on the ship, but he's totally like,
Well,
you know,
and I think
like,
once
he's ordering Satan's robot to like serve him tea or something.
Yeah.
and once they discover the Doctor is assimilated, to use a phrase,
Right.
that's when they send in B'Elanna because they're like, "Oh god, this is serious
Like,
now."
like we're losing everybody we send in there.
Not only-
and now, okay.
and the systems are down almost at this point.
what if it's
What
like
about
a Picard
what about
Lily
Harry
moment?
though? Because we're drifting away from Harry. Because if he's our hero,
Yeah, he's
we
not
haven't-
doing much.
We haven't said what he's doing.
I don't
yet.
know if he's our hero anymore.
Okay.
To be honest.
Here's the thing. I think Captain Proton is the hero now.
Yeah,
because he's
I'm
going to lose
sorry,
respect
Harry,
for Buster.
you lose.
I mean, I wanted to call the episode Captain Proton's Revenge. So
Right, because they can maybe that would be the first effort, right? Maybe they send in Buster, but Harry, but he's not listening to him anymore,
Right.
Because of the way he reacted
He's
the
a
first
sidekick.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you want to be
exactly.
Captain Proton? Sorry, Buster, we've moved on.
He is
Yeah.
forever relegated.
What if B'Elanna and Captain Proton had a Picard Lily moment where like she has to play along and she realizes that she has to play along and so like it's her job to take him back to the holodeck, back to the ship.
yeah,
You broke your little ship.
right. Because he listens to her. Because he
Right.
sees her as we need a
Yes, fair
50s
princess.
name. Yeah.
Oh.
Fair Moon Princess of Zeltar.
There you go. Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
It's not as good as Minbara.
yeah,
But, it's-
fair Moon Princess. Yeah. And she's just like, you look on her face every time he calls her Moon Princess.
She cringes a little.
And then has
like her pet name is Mooney.
Well, and in the very last
so
scene of the
wrong.
episode, Tom can call her Moon Princess, and she just gives him the
And
most
eye
shade.
roll.
no,
It's
you,
massive eye
you
roll.
have the credits roll, and you just hear.
So Captain Proton's wandering the ship now because he still thinks it's his starship, or maybe it's
His
not.
ship. His
yeah,
ship.
it's
'Cause
his ship.
and I don't know if you really want to do this,
Oh,
but
like
either
POV?
metaphorically or literally, you see through his eyes.
Yeah.
Because he's seeing everything in black and white
Oh, I
in
think
that
that would be
50s
cool.
I think you
That
could
would be
just get
cool.
away with him being black and white. Like he never turns into color.
Well, no, I think that's a good idea. I think we should do both, though. I
Okay.
think
Yes,
I like Philip's
yes.
idea where just for a second,
Because
like
he's
Because
literally
a program, so doing his
Yeah.
POV is not breaking a fourth wall.
Because he's literally
Right.
seeing a different perspective.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yes.
like the hallways look more like 1950s.
You could actually
Starship.
shoot it with a really wide prime lens, so everything feels flatter and wider than like a normal person view.
I was
Oh,
just
that would be
thinking,
really interesting directorially and cinematography.
Yeah, just the bridge. Just remake the bridge with that 50 cents. You know what I mean, and have that same.
Dude.
That would be amazing.
So
Right?
I see. So a few
Yeah.
times that we see as POV, there's like extra consoles on
all-
the
Yeah,
Just
everything's
like
levers.
wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, levers and stuff.
Yes.
So Balana steers him towards the Delta Flyer, which already has
And it
switches
makes sense to
knobs.
him. He
Yeah.
understands this.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Yes.
you're
Well, I can see how
compensator right here.
Go ahead.
Well, no, just like you bring up the Delta Flyer, she's like, okay, well here, here's a ship you might be more familiar with, or because
Right.
it's
Right.
because it's
Yeah,
Tom.
look,
But
no, we've already got a rocket ship. Check this out.
Right.
yeah, but what if he actually, because it's Tom, like because this Captain
Yeah.
Proton knows everything that Tom knows,
Yeah.
he actually bypasses the ship, flies it out. And that's how he saves the day, because
Okay.
he intercepts something or does something to the alien vessel.
So that'll happen in the last act.
Last reel.
So
Last reel.
Also, by the way, you said chapter earlier, and this might be too much because it depends who's directing this. If we actually had chapter titles,
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Let's
That-
get Roxanne Dawson to direct. She has
Yes.
a minimal role in this. She's got the time. She'll do that.
So, but how does he actually, like, if we're just doing it because he's super earnest and he's just kind of
well, he's also in
funneling
control.
his way
well,
through this?
he's always suspicious of the aliens the entire
Right.
time.
No. And
'Cause he's
it's-
racist?
I'm just saying, like, what is he? So he gets in the Delta Flyer. Like, is it literally just an accident? Like, he runs into a cloaked ship or something, like, and discovers it? Is it just because he's a?
yeah,
you know,
I guess we need to figure
Okay,
out.
what is he
Yeah.
actually?
What's the
doing?
threat?
What if in this chapter, because he's just playing out the chapter,
Yeah.
what if he fires on the ship and it dislodges a huge panel and you see a giant like weapons emplacement underneath it that was like hidden from view, and so it's like it's like, and they're like, what the heck is that?
Well, like, is this, and this might be too on the nose, so forget it, but like, you said like he's doing this chapter, like literally what is this story of Captain Proton
Right.
that they're on? And like maybe it's the story that's literally that he's following, that there's this
Exactly.
enemy vessel, like he's just following
That's
the
the
chapter.
main reason
and
he
it actually
is afraid
turns
of it.
out what the chapter is
Yes.
actually what happens.
Well, like maybe it's his
Yeah.
job to rescue the Moon Princess.
Right.
And keep her
Chapter
safe.
12,
And keep her
search for
safe,
the Moon
like from the
Princess.
aliens. And
Yeah.
so he's like,
Yeah.
I need to get you off this ship, and
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why he goes to the Delta Flyer. He is kidnapping Polana to have her be safe.
To
He's
bring her to safety,
To
yes.
bring her to safety. So okay, so I feel we're moving towards the third act. So, but also during this time, we have the rest of our crew. We have.
well, we're learning more about the aliens, which you don't necessarily
Right,
have
so
to say.
let's have
but-
Jane. We have the conference room, and they're now again working with the peace delegation and talking about Voyager. Oh yes,
We have all these things
Oh,
we'll give you.
what
You're going to
if-
give us all these things.
What if
Crime
the
directive?
You love Leola Root soup?
what
I
if
mean,
the ambassador
Have at it.
wants to check out this holodeck thing I've heard so much about?
Oh my.
Well, I would think they would say no immediately.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
the Fritz
true.
like it
That's
is.
true.
yeah,
Like-
I feel like that would be
A little too much?
Yeah, a little too
Okay.
much. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're trying to keep him on this side of the ship,
Yes,
while
yes.
Balana's trying to keep Captain Proton on the other side of the ship.
They've got enough trying to keep afloat right now, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they're doing that, and then as we're heading out, so we're seeing at the third act. Do we think we should start to see suspicion on the alien that like everything's not quite above board?
Well, I feel like maybe we can combine that idea. Like maybe it's where like Balana's on one side of the ship trying to keep Captain Proton busy. We have Janeway, showing the aliens around. What if they do accidentally meet in the hallway, and that just like sets Captain Proton off? He's like, we really have to go. Like it's the
Oh, so he
aliens.
doesn't attack them. He just grabs her and runs.
He just grabs her and runs. Yeah, and then
Ah.
that's how.
and we see, and they run right. They're like right near the Delta Flyer.
And he's like, I'll take you to my ship. And
Right.
and because he's being integrated more into Voyager,
Right.
she thinks, oh, they're going to, wait, this isn't the way holodeck 3,
Or
you're taking me to the main shuttle bay.
Interact with a control panel like he understands it, and we're realizing like why is he reacting to this like he understands this technology? He's more seeing it more and more. As
and that's
Right.
there would be another opportunity to use your point of view thing where like he pulls up the specs for the Delta Flyer, we see it and it just looks like a rocket.
Yes.
Or-
yes.
Outline of
Or he
Yeah.
goes up to
Yes.
it and there's just a big title that says rocket ship and an arrow.
and he's like,
this way.
like Zimmerman or Kudas or whoever's doing the design for this episode, you're gonna go crazy. Like Doug Drexler bringing all your World's Fair.
This is their time to shine, definitely.
Well, it should look like the 1XB, like
Marvin the Martian.
Journey to the Moon rocket ship. Yeah.
Totally.
Which it kind of does, like with its
I also
curves.
love it the fact that like every time like, whoever's doing the soundtracking can be very muted. Anytime you see his point of view, it's all
Okay, would it simplify the entire plot if, like, say, like in is it Samaritan Snare? Is that the one with the Packlets? Right.
Yes.
What if we put, instead of B'Elanna trying to get Proton, and keep him, what if she was on the other ship?
Oh, encountering.
Doing engineering, fixing.
She's got to be
something,
rescued.
and he saw her.
Again,
on the
I hate to do the
view
rescue, but
well, but she doesn't actually have to be rescued. He just thinks she does,
Right.
Because he sees her on the other ship.
this reminds me of Holy Grail.
He's just like,
You killed the best man.
No, that might be a way to simplify it. But we'd have to rewrite almost everything we just said. So, like, where were you 40 minutes ago?
Well, not really, because everything that we just said is still happening, right?
Yeah.
He's seeing,
we just
the
put
ship.
someone else with him, keeping him busy.
Yeah, he's seeing the ship, and then he sees, B'Elanna's on the other ship.
Well, it could be they hail them, and she's standing there like, everything's fine over here. And
she's
he's
saying
like,
everything's fine, but to him it's like, oh my god, she's next to the bad guys.
Yes.
I gotta go to that ship.
Well,
and
it
save
can
her.
still work because he will still meet B'Elanna, as we said. Still recognize her as Moon Princess. She'll try and help, but she has the B story too.
Yeah.
So she's like, I don't know.
So we want to have Harry trying to keep. That makes more sense.
We have him
of the
contained.
person to try to contain him.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Harry's the one
Yes.
trying to contain him,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Okay, I got to go off and do my thing."
Right.
B'Elanna says, "I got to go off and do my thing," and then that's
sounds
what
like
gets
her.
him in the Delta Flyer.
Yeah.
And then that's how he somehow uses it to either beam her aboard or like dock with it or something.
Well, I feel like she would beam over to the ship, and he'd be the one to get the.
But how would he
like him.
uncover the evilness? Like,
So he runs into the aliens who are patrolling the ship, and he freaks, and he grabs Buster, and he's like, "Let's go, Buster!" And he jumps in the Delta Flyer, and he's flying around. And let's say, do we want to have B'Elanna hail them from the other ship at that point?
Well, he's gonna be hailing her. I do like that. So instead of him grabbing B'Elanna, he can be grabbing Buster, and while she's on the other ship, because he knows that she's there because he has his periscope. And so he grabs Harry to the Delta Flyer, aka rocket ship Delta, and just then goes to rescue, even though he doesn't need to. But then what are these aliens going to uncover? Like, what's the conspiracy?
So
what do they want?
Yeah, so he hails them.
And when do they want it? Now.
And they appear on the view screen, and he sees B'Elanna there. So now he's speeding towards them because he thinks she's in danger.
Right?
But,
Yeah, there she is. I gotta go.
Right.
Now, the aliens are what their reaction is going to be.
What the heck's going on?
Yeah.
Massive confusion.
Right. And Janeway's just rubbing her forehead.
Right? Yeah.
Like,
Do they know what's up or don't they?
What's the status of our hair right now?
Semi-disheveled.
Okay.
Okay.
A little bit, a few frizzies.
Sorry, yellow alert.
I feel like the last piece of the puzzle is, what are the aliens doing? What do they want?
Is it going to be like some sort of madcap thing of where like he just goes over there and just start messing with stuff and just not literally, but like a curtain falls down and like, what the heck? A bunch of photon torpedoes? What are these about? I'm like,
So either there's a couple of things. They could be trying to steal Voyager's technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They could be.
That has to be literally a reveal or metaphorically a reveal.
They could be, lying about escorting, and maybe they're offering. What if they're offering Voyager as an offering? Or they're
to
like
somebody else,
So
maybe?
they're not taking them to
As
their capital
collateral?
planet. They're offering them to their enemies. Like, here, we brought you this ship full of technology
Have fun.
for another year of peace, and that's their agreement. They bring a ship into their
I
space.
feel like we could make it simpler.
Okay.
Like with something like you said. Like I know you said the curtain falls and you
Right.
see something. What if it's technology from Voyager, where they're like,
Oh, they've actually been stealing technology the entire
the whole
time.
time.
Yeah, we're like, we didn't give this.
Oh.
And maybe there can be a couple lines in Act 3, but they think it's because Captain Proton's been messing with everything.
Oh, that thing. They're starting to notice things are disappearing.
Oh,
but they
that's
can't-
good.
We can't access Cargo Bay 3,
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, I think that might work. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
or
that's
they
really good.
find something like on the floor, and they're like, "What the heck is this doing here?" And they're like,
Well, Captain Proton's like,
Captain
I will
Proton
save
was
you.
through
B'Elanna's
here."
like, get off me, jerk. And then
Right.
she's like, what? And then she's like, wait, what are...
Why is the hologram compensator sitting right here?
Yeah.
That puts a whole new spin too on the whole stealing technology angle.
Right.
That's almost a trope. on Voyager.
Well, it
but this has such a good spin on it that it's refreshing.
It's fun.
Yeah, and it can be like
Yeah.
an earlier, nice, innocent conversation early on, like, oh, we would love some of your. Oh, well, I'm sorry, we have a Prime Directive.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
oh, I understand.
We can share star charts.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, no big deal.
All
Yeah, we'll share our
enlightened
literature and our art.
species have such
And our science.
rules as you. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that's perfect. So and we don't see very much of the aliens like from their point of view or anything like that. So
Yeah.
we,
Nah, forget it. We're not going to hear from them.
Yeah, and it has to
anyway.
be like some cute because there's the reveal, but it can't just be like B'Elanna and Harry are like, oh, you guys, what's going on? Oh, you got us. Captain Proton literally has to save the day.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, I mean, not blow him up because
Okay,
this is
what
a
if-
fun episode, but he's got to do something.
So he
that-
flies over. He's really good. Like he calls everything with a Captain Proton name, but he totally understands transporters, phasers, everything.
Yeah.
He's
Again, the perspective.
Yeah, his.
Again, I love
Yeah.
seeing the Voyager bridge, like the phaser controls, and then he looks at it, it's like lightning
Cannon.
beam.
Which, for the
Yeah.
sake of our production, I mean, we could focus more on like the Delta Flyer
Oh, no.
really decked out. Like maybe he doesn't see the bridge as much. Just so our crew, our set people,
Set
aren't
design.
having-
Well,
Yeah,
but this
Kill
is
it.
the great
I
thing.
know.
It's
We
want them to sleep, I
hypothetical.
guess.
Exactly.
Look, in the novel universe,
But no, like, so imagine,
Take a drink.
imagine like he gets on the alien ship and gets to B'Elanna and they discover this and they gotta get off the ship, right? So we're seeing them chasing them down their corridors and they're shooting the phasers at them. But then it like every other scene cuts to like old-fashioned ray guns that they're
Right.
shooting at them. And like, and he's like, "We gotta get out of here!" It'd be fun. Just
Okay,
to do
so
it
you
back
want
and
him to
forth.
get on the alien ship? Because I was thinking either he goes on the alien ship or he recognizes the technology and scans it, and the scans reveal all this Voyager stuff, and then he beams it off.
Well,
I like that idea better, where he actually gets on the ship
Yeah.
and we have a corridor chase scene.
yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think we have to
Everyone
have
loves
a
a good
chase
chase
scene.
scene.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's when
Oh.
that's the thing is that like he finds the technology, B'Elanna confirms it, and then a chase happens where they're like the jig is up, and then they start
Yeah.
the
Because
chase.
there's only 3 of them or 2
Well, and
of
for
them.
help, the entire part on the alien ship can be in the 50s view. So it's
Yeah.
Oh, the whole thing it just
so
changes.
we
right?
never
Yes.
see it in 24th century tech, so they only have to build one set and then it's
Yeah.
all black and
Yeah,
white.
yeah.
So
Well,
he's,
they can't literally make it black and white, Darren. They're going to put a filter. and,
they can paint it back. So or shades of gray. So
Oh
okay,
my.
so he gets on the ship. He gets to B'Elanna. He's rescuing her, and she's not happy about it. And
well, they're joint effort.
right,
Yeah.
right. So they
And Bus and Harry.
Or what if B'Elanna discovers it, and he's trying to?
Well, no, I think he has to, because they have to show like, oh my god, he's crazy, and then he does
Right.
something like, oh, he was.
Yeah.
He was
Okay.
Knows what he's
I,
doing
yeah, I don't think
at the time.
I don't think it matters.
Matters, yeah.
Yeah.
He pulls back the curtain.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's all our stuff, in the cargo bay.
Is this like a matter of time in TNG?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
So then, but yeah, they have a daring chase in the hallway. They get it back into the ship.
Now I'm
They-
hearing the Star Trek 4 music out of the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, so B'Elanna's smart, and she takes something from her belt or
Engineering,
pocket,
yeah.
and she puts transmitters on all this stuff so
Right.
they can beam it back.
Nice.
And then they're
Pattern
like,
enhancers.
yeah, and they're like, okay, we got to get back to the ship. And he's like, okay, let's go.
But
And
they
then-
set up some sort of scattering field we can't transport.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Or they
Of course,
can't, or
we
they
have to
can't
have enough
transport
options.
people.
Yeah.
They can transport the stuff, but they got to get back to the ship.
And then like they leave, they get the stuff, and Voyager books it.
Well, and there has to be like some final, like, right, they get through them, they're going to the Delta
Oh, yeah.
Flyer, and like Harry goes in first, and B'Elanna's about to get in, and choo 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 choo, and then like Captain Proton's like, and once again the day is saved thanks to Captain Proton. B'Elanna's like, oh brother.
No,
And
no.
they go,
I'm sorry. Wait, no, wait. This might. Okay, maybe. Okay, stick with me on this.
Right.
Okay, I like that idea. Like Harry makes it in, B'Elanna makes it in, and then Captain Proton's
He's like,
there,
stands at the door.
Yeah, he's just like,
Monologue.
once again, I have saved them.
oh.
And then he dies. Captain Proton is shot by the aliens.
Downer.
But that's what I was thinking. So what if they hit his immobile emitter at that moment, and it falls? B'Elanna grabs it. They zip out. So now the coda, the end is: do we fix Captain Proton?
And I think it has to be Tom and Tom.
But
right.
Because Tom has to literally put it, well, not literally
But
put
I
it,
think you have an opportunity for a really silly, dramatic death scene.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
Right, so
yes.
it-
Yeah, see,
It
that's what I
has,
was thinking.
you think
Yeah.
that has to be Chaoticas?
So instead of getting hit and he instantly vanishes, he gets hit, but he acts like he was shot.
Right.
What? So it starts to flicker a bit, but he's like, "Oh,
You'll
sweet
always
irony."
be-
It's like Moon Princess. If only I had more time.
And I can see the aliens going like,
By the stars of Antares, your beauty will carry me to the afterlife.
but don't worry, I will always be there to save your
clunk.
Yeah.
And then that's when they
And you can
mobile
actually
emitter
hear the
falls.
music in his head go.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they grab the
Mobile emitter.
the mobile emitter, they book it out,
The Delta Flyer, and then some sort of.
and then they go to warp. And so now the end scene is it's the grid holodeck.
Yeah.
And you can
And-
maybe have everyone there. Well, I don't know, Tom and Balana and Harry.
That's what I think.
them.
Tom Baloney.
Yeah,
Tom Baloney and
Which is,
Harry, yeah.
This could be a very good Tom moment because these are all the important people in his life, including
Yes.
Captain Proton.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
so,
true.
So is the overall message, the message of this is knowing when it's time to let go of that portion of your past.
I
to
think
turn
so.
the page. Which, I mean, when you're talking about like married life and stuff, like I totally relate to that. Like there are things you have to move past and be like, that was great in college, that was great, in your early, 20s
When I
and
was
stuff.
a child,
Yeah.
I did childish things, but
Exactly. But that actually is a really big thing about
Totally relevant.
going into this new adventure with your spouse going forward. So I think that's a great moral message of the episode.
Absolutely.
And it can also be not like this, but the Balana moment in Day of Honor, is that what it is, when she's doing the bat lift point at everyone?
Yeah.
But Tom has to be like, this showed what Captain Proton means. He saved the day.
Right.
And so it's
Yeah.
not like
That's
a
why I
stupid
love
thing.
him.
Yes,
It's
and-
like, why do we love Star Trek? Why do I love Captain Proton?
Yeah.
And then like maybe they ask, like Balana or Harry ask the question, so like, are we going to reconstitute?
Do you wanna
Captain?
save him?
And then like Tom says, you know what? He died saving the day, and I think that's
But
that's the end
he
of
died
that's the
doing what he
final
wanted.
chapter.
It's
yeah.
poignant, but at the same time, I mean, it is it has shades of sad, but it's
Yeah.
not really sad.
Because it also is
It's a
moving
hologram.
on. That we're not going to do Captain Proton
It
again,
has
guys.
an,
Yeah.
So
it has that momentum.
do they turn him on and he's standing there, but he's like frozen, but he's like,
But do they do that at all?
Or
No,
do
because I
they-
think once he dies, he's died.
I don't
Okay.
think we see him. I think we're in
No.
the ship.
I think
Oh,
they're-
okay. We're in the
no.
ship.
Now, is everyone in color on the black and white ship?
Yes, I think
in
they
their
have to be
uniforms.
color now.
yes, because
Yeah.
we want to blow all this special effects budget on this.
No, I think it's got to be real life. It's got to be color, and they're contemplating. Well, do
Even
we
the doctor,
restart him now?
maybe.
Do we try to fix it? No, we don't.
Yeah.
I have, and you guys may not agree with this, but just for fun, and it'll probably totally undercut the entire message that you were
Let's
just
do it then.
but
Why not?
But, right? So you have this conversation on the ship, and they say, no, we're not going to do it. We're going to let them lie.
Oh, I see.
And so they go, okay, let's go get a drink or whatever, And they all leave, and the door's shut, and it's dark. And then all of a sudden, you hear Satan's robot laughing.
Oh my, to be continued.
Question mark.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
No, I could see that happening.
Which is how Chaotic ended, right?
Yeah.
Or I was
Yeah.
Oh
thinking,
yeah, that's true actually.
as a for the funny moment, because that's what you're saying, like the
Yeah.
funny moment at the very end.
Or
after, so they're in the ship because that's when they're making the choice, and after they leave, then the doctor comes out from the back, like he's still totally the
Hello.
and he's just. Or he's the doctor again, and he's like, "Where am I? What's
They're like,
going on?"
hey, where is everybody? What's going on?
I
Hello?
think that's I like the idea of ending on a joke, but I think that's a way to keep it poignant but also end on a joke where
Right.
like either like maybe it's Doc and Satan's robot come out.
Or so he comes out and goes, he's like, "Wonderful robot! Now we shall go on our next adventure," or something. Like
Something
that.
to that effect, but then
Yeah.
and then the doors close.
Or we must rescue Captain Proton from beyond the infinite.
Finally. Yeah, because I can see like the holodeck doors ending with like the on the left door and end on the right door. And it goes,
That would be great. Yeah, and then the zoom out.
Right.
To black.
Or the iris out. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yes.
So they have the poignant scene. We don't see Captain Proton at all because
No.
he's had his death scene. I like
he's
that.
done.
We don't
He's
need to
gone.
bring
He's
him
done.
back. But yeah, but Tom is talking about those things that we mentioned where he's like, no, I love Captain Proton. I love growing up with this character, like reading these holo novels, playing this. I mean, we can all relate to that, to characters.
Totally.
and then maybe I'll do them again. Like I don't know how the best way to phrase, it, but like maybe our kids will play with them one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
when
maybe they know it's a
Morale is
daughter at this
10.
point. Do they know? No, they don't know it's a daughter until it's born, right?
No.
No, they find
No,
out.
they find out.
Okay, so they're like, maybe our daughter will get to play this, and then Planet's like, yeah, better than that Flutter program.
All right.
Yeah, and
I
then
think-
Tom is like, you know what? I'll pick it up then.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Captain Proton will always be here when we need him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And don't worry,
and Sa-
Harry. She'll need a buster too.
Yeah. So he gets to be Buster to little baby. And then,
yeah, I think that's good.
Poor Harry.
and then they walk out, but the camera's still in. Like we hear the like doors.
Yes,
and then
yes.
we're still in the spaceship, and then the president of Earth comes stumbling out with Satan's robot.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, robot, onward to the next planet."
I think we keep it simple. I think it's just like the Doc and robot walk out, and then like the whole like
It is like one line.
They
Well,
have
you
one
can do,
line,
like,
but
a
then
salute.
it goes out like the holodeck, like the doors close, and then Satan's robot and the Doc walk out, and they're like, "Wait, what's going on?" And then everything closes, and it's just the Doc left over, and he's like, "What just happened just now?" and then that's.
Oh, he's still black and white, and he's like
he's still black and white. There's still the ship, but then that turns off, and then he's back in color, and he's the Doc.
Oh,
on the
so it's
West-
like he missed the entire episode. He's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he just woke up. He's like, "What just happened?"
And then credits.
And then they call it a flintle on the West Wing Weekly, or on the West Wing they have dialogue during the credits. I can see like credits, and then you just hear the Doctor going, "There's my mobile emitter."
I hate my life.
That's kind of cute.
Why am I wearing this fedora? So then we're out. We roll credits, and we've had the third part of
That's
our
the
Captain Proton
episode.
trilogy.
Oh my god.
Oh,
This sounded more like a 4-part episode.
yeah,
than anything.
that's
We're not
true.
enterprising this.
We jammed a lot into it, but
It was
And
good.
you know what? Here's the thing: is okay, we kill off Captain Proton, but I feel really good about it. How weird is that?
Well, because I know they use there's Bride of Chaotica, which is the big Captain Proton episode, and
Yes.
but before we see it just
At night.
there's not really a Captain Proton. That's right, it gets frozen in.
No, it's not frozen. They're just playing it because of the whole monotony of absolute
Yeah.
nothingness
That's right.
in
That's
space.
right. I was thinking more of. Was it Shattered, where that portion of the ship is stuck in the
Yes,
Captain Proton
that is Shattered.
universe?
Yes, you're
But
right.
there wasn't a lot of storyline around the character
Right,
of Captain
right.
Proton.
Yeah.
Just the world of Captain Proton.
Exactly.
So this is something very
about
different.
him.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, we only see it from Tom playing the character. We don't know how it's actually written. I'm
Right.
sure he ad libs and adds to the character himself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did this in person. I'm glad we got to talk about Captain Proton. We all love Captain Proton. It's
We
such
do.
a fun.
I mean,
character.
we're basically sitting in one big holodeck here. We're in Vegas.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. It's always nighttime, never day. We don't go outside
all
at all.
fake.
It's just black
what
grids.
happens here stays here, right? Isn't that the idea?
So, well, I want to thank TTJ for joining us on Earl Grey this week in this wonderful crossover episode.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. This was an absolute blast.
And thank you to my co-hosts for letting us record around this wonderful conference table. But talking about Satan's robot and
Danger.
the Moon Princess who is to be rescued is not the only thing we're talking about here on Trek FM this week. Here's what you may have missed elsewhere on the network.
Previously on Trek.fm. To the journey! He tweets out, like, hey, walking around with my mobile emitter, hashtag blessed. It's just, I'm sure that's what he's doing.
Gosh. Yep. He's taking photos of his holographic non-dinner.
The 602 Club.
And even the book started this way. And I remember reading the book and being like, what the F is going on? Because it's just such a strange scene. This muggle caretaker in this house making tea, and you're like, what is happening? But really what's being set up is this bookend of Voldemort looming over everything and finally finding a way to return.
Stage 9. A podcast about the people who make Star Trek.
Every chance they have to get him off the bridge of that ship and have him running around on some planet or shooting some guy or jumping on something, they do. And it's like, he's got that chair there, it looks really comfortable, let's have him sit in it for a while and command a starship.
And that's what else is happening on Trek.fm.
You can listen to every show on the network at Trek.fm with links for iTunes, streaming services, and a direct download link. This week of Earl Grey is brought to you by Audible.com. This is a great way for you to read all of the books you want to read but never have time for. Audible is always expanding with over 150,000 titles to choose from. There are classics, current bestsellers, and famous Star Trek books like Prime Directive and Federation. Audible has something for everyone. Now, as a Trek FM listener, you can get a free audiobook of your choice along with a 30-day trial to try out Audible yourself. So give it a try today. Catch up on all those classic Star Trek books you've yet to read. To support Trek FM, visit audibletrial.com/trekfm and sign up today. Again, that's audibletrial.com/trekfm. Thank you, Audible, for supporting Earl Grey and Trek FM. If you are a weekly listener and would like to directly help Earl Grey, please consider becoming a patron of Trek FM. At patreon.com/trekfm, you can choose a pledge level and receive rewards for becoming a Trek FM patron. You'll be inside the observation lounge of our network, able to participate in our monthly patron roundtable podcasts, and supporting the production of all of our great content. We would like to take this moment to thank our current patron associate producers, Stephen Boyd and Ron Sarna. Thank you for supporting Earl Grey. Connect with other Trek FM listeners on our Facebook discussion group called The Babel Conference, found through the Facebook search field, or like the facebook.com/TrekFM page for show updates and announcements. The network is also on Twitter at TrekFM.
So, Philip, if someone wanted to talk to you about Satan's Robot, where would they find you?
They can find me in my glorious black and white or shades of gray on Twitter, where my handle is NC Public Servant. That's NC for no chaotica.
For no color.
That's what I was going for.
And Daniel, if someone wanted to talk to you about how you are wanting to cosplay as that moon princess, where would they find you?
Absolutely. That's going to be my first. So they can find me on Twitter at OneUpDan. That's the number 1, not the word.
And as the president of Earth, Tristan, where can someone find you?
Dun dun da da da.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at The Insane Robin. You can also find me on To The Journey with Charlene Schmidt, my co-host right here. To The Journey. You can also find me on the Nerd Party Network at thenerdparty.com, where I host the Senate Floor with my buddy Matt Hansen, as well as Nerd Nuptial, a show that I host with my wife. Everyone should check it out.
And Char, if someone wants to save the day, where will they find you online?
I will not be the screaming princess. No, I will not.
That's Daniel. Don't worry.
You can find me on Twitter. My handle is the Profanity, and you can find me hosting To The Journey with this lovely guy right here, Tristan Riddell. We talk all things Voyager every single week.
Awesome. And if someone wants to talk about black and white science fiction, they can find me on Twitter at Dr. Sci-Fi. That's DRSCIFI. Well, I think I want to watch Bride of Chaotica again, because that would be a lot of fun. Live long and prosper.
Make it so.
Engage.
To the journey!
Nice.
Fire.